And this morning, we welcome back our August visitor in September, somebody who always was here every Thursday to hold very frank conversations surrounding on issues of government and development of the people, and also seeking ways to empower Nigerians in so many ways so they can get a better chance at life. I'd like to welcome in a very special way Reverend Father Dr. Tobe Namani, who returns this morning after a very brief vacation, but he stayed in touch with Nigeria and also with his roots. And today, talking about his roots, we are going to delve into some depth in terms of roots with some folk music in Nigeria, the role in traditional education, and of course, moral development of the Igbo people. But first of all, I'd like to welcome Father Tobe Namani back on the program and back to this place. Welcome. Good to see you again.
Thank you, Sydney. Good morning. I'm glad to be back.
You look very refreshed, to be honest.
Yeah, I do.
You took time off work.
Yes, I rested enough, and it is back again to work.
Back to work.
Yeah.
And back to talk and back to empowering the people. And while you were away, I'm sure so many people tried to contact you for your trainings and all your empowerment programs. I think we should start from there, like me asking you, are the trainings over for the year? The trainings from the People's Creative International, are you guys into training? When is the next one coming? Because you know what I'm asking, a couple of people actually contacted me on your behalf because I've been hosting your program for a while.
Yeah.
And they've been asking, how can they meet with you? How come they're interested in the trainings you were giving? Welcome back to Nigeria. Let's start from where we left off.
Thank you very much. We actually conducted a training in July this year, and the next one is coming up in October next month, 23rd to 27th. Our registration has commenced already. In fact, we are getting to the end of it. So those who are interested should just call me or chat me.
October
23rd to 27th. Our normal 5-day training followed by internship. And there are interesting programs that have come up for this particular one now is for registered nurses. This is separate from the one in October I'm talking about.
Okay.
Yeah, we have a new program for registered nurses.
Specifically for registered nurses?
Yes, specifically for international recruitment. This is recruitment for Germany, but that will be in international hospitals in Germany, not German hospitals.
Okay.
So this one is very, very lucrative and so appetizing. And
so those with the relevant qualifications?
Those who are registered nurses and have a license to practice should be able to contact us or come to the office. We have a package that is so good. Yeah, so...
but the general training for caregivers?
For caregivers, that one is coming up on the 23rd to 27th of October. And as I said, registration has commenced. Please contact me and get yourself in the list. We have only 30 people, and we have now already more than 20-something. And as I said, this training is subsidized already. Every trainee has already gotten 100,000 paid for him or her. Yes.
By the governor?
No, by philanthropists
Okay.
who wants to be anonymous.
Okay.
So the cost for this training is 250, and the person has come in to pay 100 for everyone.
So the training is subsidized?
Subsidized. There's now only 155 for registration and 150 for the training. For 12 certificates from the UK. So unfortunately, but fortunately too, it's not a Nigerian certificate. So this certificate can give you work in Canada, in New Zealand, in Australia, and in other places. So we are hoping that participants in this training will come up and register and get ready. Our address is still number 533 Nike Lake Resort Road. And the plaza is Onyegbe Plaza. It is opposite Ababa Timber. It is very conspicuous. Just come upstairs, shop number 17, and you'll meet us Unfortunately, our office hours are only on Wednesdays, 9 to 1 a.m. Only on Wednesdays.
1 p.m. or 1 a.m.?
Sorry, 1 p.m. 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. No, nobody will be there by 1 a.m. So 1 p.m. So if you want to see us face to face, please come there. Otherwise, you will chat me up on WhatsApp on my number 08036378803. If you chat me up, I will send you the flyer where the details are.
You might want to take the number again.
Okay, 08036378803. I will send you the details, and you can also call to make more inquiries. Nigerian youths are now hotcakes in the Western world. As I told you, the reason is because the population of young people over there is very small. They have about 75% of old people from the age of 70 up. Our own is the opposite. 75 to 80% of our population is from 15 years to 35. So they don't like us, but they can't do without us. So we have to go to work. Some people call it second slavery, but this one we go by ourselves. We are not being forced to go. But the care work there is very lucrative, and it is a good way of going out without becoming asylum seekers, where you die in the desert, the Libyan desert, or drown in the Mediterranean Sea trying to cross over into Europe. This one you go as a skilled worker, and you are paid adequately for the job that you do. The people there, they have made money, and old people there want to be taken care of. So they have enough money to pay.
Interesting. Okay, so you might want to take advantage of some of these opportunities being presented by Father Toben Namani and the People Creative Empowerment International, right, in collaboration with their foreign partners, of course. We will take a very quick break. When we come back, we will continue, and this time around we will focus on the topic of the day. We are looking at the role of folk music in the traditional education of the Igbo people, and of course in moral development, because the values of that time, people continue to say we're much better than what we have today.
Yeah.
And maybe the music had a role to play. Maybe the kind of music they were listening to and they were playing traditionally different from what we have today. Stay here. It's Energy 105.5. The man is fresh from his vacation, and he's interested down in seeing how we can create more awareness as far as folk music is concerned in Nigeria, and the values of the time past, and how they can assist us in restoring some of our lost values, and need I say some of the lost glory as well. Father, welcome back.
Thank you.
Yeah, so why the emphasis? Why the importance on folk music, on traditional values, on the ways we used to do things here?
Every society has its own way of doing things. In fact, so the title I gave to this topic when we talk about tradition, remember, is in our first group there, archives of our heritage. So I want us to go to the archives of our heritage and bring something that is very important. And that thing is the role of folk music. What is folk music? The music of folk is the word for people, rural people. Who compose this music? It doesn't have a name of a composer. Yeah? It is music of people who live in the village. It is full of wonderful imagery that makes imprint in the minds of the audience. It tells you the world view of the people, their morality, what they believe in. So let me just begin by singing one of it, and let's do the interpretation.
You want to sing? Okay.
Yes, I saw that. Please do the response for me. Amalugo, amalugo, mo. Amalugo, nnem nyere m dị na-ejula malugo si mbulu ụzọ lụọ nwa ji mo na mbulu ụzọ lụọ nwa ejula na nwa ejula ga-agbanyesịrị m ọkụ wee bulu ụzọ lụọ nwa ejula nwa ejula gbanyụsalụ m ọkụ wee bulu eju wee jebe igute ọkụ mpụta n'ụzọ hụ nwe nyenye si m kirija nsị ya kirija nke gị si m kirija nsị ya kirija nke ya nne n'ọbụ nwa malugo nne malugo malugo. Okay, so what is this about? You can see now you teach and you entertain at the same time. And this is transmitted from word of mouth. It is not written. Now we are trying to keep
a oral history,
a record of it. And I have made
a disc,
yeah, that can last for up to 50 years before it will spoil.
We should be playing this maybe next week.
Okay, next week we'll play it so that people can hear and be able to get it and preserve it. So what I'm doing now is to preserve this so that it doesn't go into extinction.
Okay.
So let's interpret this music. Omalugo is a stubborn girl, and the mother gave her yam and snail and went to the farm and said, please roast the yam first and eat. So because if you roast the snail, it might put off the fire. And at this time, children are not allowed to come out because evil spirits are hovering around, which also means the danger of being kidnapped if you come out.
Present day.
Yeah.
Analogy to the present day danger.
Yes, even in those days, kidnappings were taking place. You remember that Igbo land was ravaged by slavers who were roaming about and kidnapping people and selling to the white people. So Omalugo was what we call long throat. She wanted to eat meat first and roasted the snail, and the snail put off the fire, and then she became hungry. The hunger was so much that it drove her out. She was told not to go out, so she went out, and immediately she came out, she saw a spirit of 21 heads trying to swallow her. Luckily for her, the mother was coming from the farm back and rescued her, and that was when she started this music, Oh Malugo, Malugo. So now a story has been told, and then you draw a lesson. So maybe subsequent ones will be telling this story, and we want people to call in and tell us the lessons they have learned. So this is what we call prohibition and taste. What is you are longing to do, that is the taste, and then it is also prohibited. So a child begins to learn how to have control and constraint. So what the mother is trying to do now, when I was young, if there is meat in the soup, you don't eat the meat first. You wait until you finish eating. You see, that is what the mother is trying to teach. Finish eating. The food is more important for nourishment than the meat. But she disobeyed, and what happened? She got nearly a deadly consequence.
For disobedience.
For disobedience. So immediately the child begins to learn that there are consequences for the actions you perform, and you have to be very careful. But more importantly, something else was also being taught to this child in this music. Remember I said, which this, you have now a play on words. Which one is the eju? Do you understand what that means? There are two words that are pronounced exactly the same, but they are not the same thing in meaning.
Okay.
So, eju, which is ejula, it is snail. But the eju, ojigabe egutoku, is not snail.
It's not snail. It's something you use to grab fire coals.
Yes, a broken pot.
Broken pot.
Yes. You go there and get idaoku and put in there. Because in those days, matches are dropped. You go to a neighbor who has fire, and then you use eju. to bring, you see, the child now learns that edu is snail, but that word also is a broken pot you can use in fetching fire. You can see this is how the village and the child already has an imagery in the mind. So this is the way that where we had our own library. We didn't have library like the British people where you go to a place and store books. Our own archives, our heritage are stored
in the people.
In the people, in this kind of transmission, culture,
yes.
Transmission from this particular singing. And you can notice that it is the singing that keeps the interest, raptured interest. And this music makes it almost impossible to forget. It will be transmitted from one generation to the other. Sadly,
the cycle seems broken. We haven't been transmitting and singing, and apart from this attempt you're making now,
yeah,
I haven't heard this Omalugo sing song for a very long time.
Good. Why? Now you ask yourself, what system of education are we running? It is for the Commission of Education to look into this, and actually I'm recommending
Igbo
it.
is still being taught.
Igbo is being taught, but how? I did Igbo myself in school. I know what I was taught. And Igbo was relegated to the background. It is the last subject. It is not
one of the optional
languages you can learn. And how is it taught? Do you have even enough novels or books? Except a few of people who have just written. Chinedu Ofomata has been the foremost, the one that we have now. Apart from people like F.C. Obalo,
Antonio Bese,
yeah, Bese had written a lot of Igbo novels that I don't think anyone has actually challenged him in that area, apart from Ofomata, who has also written very much. So you can see how our traditional education, you can see now you combine two things, education and morality. Say there are consequences for action, take your time. And this is, the folk music is in many ways. It can be a praise of something, beauty. It can also be a way of discouraging people from doing things. Let us look at the one that is in praise of beauty. You will like this. I'm sure you have heard it before. The MBC choir from Enugu went to Festag 1977. Yes. And Enugu MBC choir got first position in choral music. And what was that? The song that gave them the first position was Enenebe Jeolu. Jimude was a living person. I don't know whether she's still alive, but Alfonso Kosa looked at this woman, her beauty. I've never seen any woman like that, because I met her sometime many years in the 90s. I saw her going to work, so I stopped and went to call her to say, please don't be angry. And she stopped and smiled and said, don't worry, I get this kind of thing all the time. So Alfonso Kosa of blessed memory sat down and looked at this woman and described her. So this is part of the folk, is to in praise of beauty. Nemo golom chimeude nam goam chimeude molunibu na pomo enene pejahalom umaka na pomo enene pejahalom okolobia na pomo enene pejahalom Mumibo na banumo enene pejahalom enene pejahalom enene pejahalom enene pejahalom chimude Ontoluka omeji na-ete gbene na-ama poko na-eji gologolo obi awụrụzi ọnụ ọkpao enenebejalo oyoyo enenebejalo nwata dị mma ntutu ya topu na-eji enenebejalo ọwara iru kụla ekele sode ogo enenebejalo. You see, in praise of beauty.
Eulogy.
eulogy.
That's literature.
Yes, this is one aspect of this music, folk music. The entertainment is the Africa, everything in life has something to do with music. Be it in the farm, as they are farming, they are singing. If it is burial, they are singing.
Dirge, like when someone dies.
Exactly. If it is a war, they are singing. Even fighting wars, everything has a way.
War chants.
Yeah, the music is so in such a way that it is irresistible. You can't stop. So let's go take another one of discouraging envy or discouraging avarice. This one is in my local dialect. My answer to it is to start something and not only to complain and throw up hands over the head and say there's nothing that can be done. What I said is actually written there in the UNDP website, that in the next 50 years, only 30% of Igbo people will be able to speak the language. The other 70 will not. 50 years now, you look at the children born in the US, they would have gotten their own children, and since they can't speak, they cannot teach.
That was a warning given, many years ago, but since then, efforts are on to, people are making efforts. Even some Nigerians living overseas are teaching their children. I have my immediate older brother living in Europe, and the kids speak Igbo.
Yes, I know actually a few, but you are looking at the ratio. If you go to the US today and say, if you have 2 million, 1 million Nigerians, Igbo people in the US, how many? That is what
fraction of?
Yeah, it's just a small fraction. I have a friend that lives in Belgium. His children were born there from a Belgian woman, but they speak Igbo very well.
Oh, beautiful.
What happened was that he brought them home and they stayed here in Anambra for 5 years before going back.
Okay.
So I met one of them at the train station. He was one that called me in Igbo and spoke Igbo to me. He's looking completely like a white person. I was taken aback. I came and said, my name is Omanoku. I'm from so and so place. I know you, so in Igbo. So there are people who are making
conscious efforts.
Yeah, but it is too small. What I'm saying is that what we are doing here is part of promoting that Igbo language.
Obviously.
Yes, because when the language is gone, the culture is gone.
So that the prediction of
will not come true.
Extinction will not come to pass.
Yes.
Hello.
Hello.
Good morning.
Good morning. It's Chidi, please.
Oh, Chidi, you're back?
Yes, yes.
Okay.
I support what Father Namani just said. It's not enough to just give up now and go no one buy a memory and that kind of assertion is not good. The thing is that don't worry. I said the last caller, don't worry, you see what will happen. If are anywhere, there are some measures that will be taken and it will gain momentum and the level at which Igbo language will be accepted, not just by the Igbos, by Igbo lovers globally. It will happen. So there are measures being taken place now. We are just hoping that it escalates and is going to escalate. So
That is so.
when still interested rich men put their funds to Igbo language, put their funds to Igbo culture, and Igbo, like I shared with Father, Igbo language in school turns to Igbo cultural education in primary schools, in secondary schools, and in tertiary institutions. No more Igbo language, but Igbo culture education. These things will be transformed within 5 years. So that's what I'm saying.
I think this is a big, very ambitious, if you consider the fact that you have to go by way of policy and legislation.
Yes, yes.
For this,
Yes.
currently no Igbo House of Assembly is considering any of the things we are talking about.
Yes,
At all.
For now, that is possible.
Okay, no, it is very possible. It is only those people who have the responsibility. For instance, the people who are making policies in education. So what is the cultural content in the education? I learned a twinkle, twinkle, little star instead of Omalugo. in the school. That is what I was taught here in the Twinkle Twinkle Little Star. How I wonder what you are up above the sky so high. So that was what we imported, and we forgot our own. That actually makes more impression, because the imagery that is being talked about is around you. You are talking about apple.
There's a way to happen. Don't worry, I will meet you and see how it will happen. It will happen, it's possible.
Very good. I'm so happy to hear this. It gives some kind of hope here that everything is not lost.
Chidi, thank you
Thank
for
you so
your
much,
contribution as always.
Please make time to come so that we can talk.
Chidi, thank you so very much. All right, Energy 105.5 0700 1055 1055 today on the program. We have another caller. Hello.
Hi, Crocker. How about you, man?
Okay, welcome back.
Achọghị nweta gbasara Igbo ka ọzọ ọkpụtọlọkpụ. Nne na nna biko tụwara ụmụ Igbo. A na-asụrụ ụmụazị Igbo, a na-asụrụ uwe Igbo. Onwere ebe anyị ya mụtachara ịnụ ma eto. Ada o nwere lekwu uwe ka ụmụazị. Ukele ụmụazị na ụmụazị ndị na-asụgoro ụmụazị n'elu ya mụtachara ịnụ ma eto.
Yes.
Ị na-azụ ka ịbata na ndị be anyị ara asụrụ ụmụ Igbo. So tụwara ụmụazị Igbo ụmụazị.
Thank you for that suggestion.
Ọzọ na-ebi ewu okwu ụka, ndị ụka bụchi ikpe biri Igbo na Igbo mee nke. Ndị ụka na-emebuga Igbo rite ha rịkwa ama amara. Imeele ara adịghị na ọdụrọ mma na ịgba ọgwụ na ọdụrọ mma. Ụka ndị Igbo wereta aka n'ọdọ ndị Igbo jewe ụka na ndị Yoruba na-ejekwa ụka. Ma Yoruba jiri asụsụ na omenala na abalị ya. Ọ ga-eche ka nkwụ ndị ụka wereta aka, onye ọka tụwara ụmụ Igbo n'ụlọ ya mụta azụ n'ihu.
Father is a reverend gentleman. Thank you.
No, I suppose part of what he's saying, it is when people don't understand what the church says about tradition and culture. In fact, I will say something that may shock you. The first secretary of propaganda fide in Rome in 14-something said, if what the local people are doing is not against faith and morals, leave it. Don't stop them. The Second Vatican Council of the Catholic Church has given a lot of space for cultural things to come into the church, into the liturgy. It is for our people to start looking at. Let me ask you, for instance, who has commissioned a study on burial rites? Every single thing we use in burial in the tradition is a symbol. Who has studied it so that the church can take the one that is good and leave out the one that is not good? Nobody is interested in it. That's where the problem is, lack of even knowledge or understanding of the Igbo worldview. That you can match them side by side with Christianity and you don't find any conflict. In many of them, not all of them, in many. So this is a topic for another day.
Interesting. 0700 1055 1055. 0700 1055 1055. The role of folk music in the Igbo rural traditional education and moral development. We have more callers joining now. Hello, good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning. Father Namana, good morning. Coming from Enugu.
Good morning, comrade. Welcome.
Comrade, welcome.
Hey, thank you. You know, Amaka, you know, that people have beautiful. That is very, very important. And just like the last caller, the way I want again when we both cultural education at school. Okay, Mama, like Nigeria, and with so many cultures. So I'm going to thank you. Igbo, Bulu, Bauta, use Zoya as their own subject in them here. Then in the time of what we do, Igbo too. Now, one is the way, and I have to go there a lot of people who are power. And Hannah one upon us, because just like fathers will get the percentage. So now the man and then when this kind of discussion, we are man when I radio, when I TV, on up everybody, don't keep you up, because more I believe that about the first identity. But one has to only have one job there, no job that one only has China or job in Asia. so na ndị be anyị kawakwa na-arụ na-aza afa be anyị ada na-afa anyị amaka ma ọ bụrụ amụọ nwa onye Igbo agụọ ya afa mmadụ na-amarọ gụọ ya afa nkịta ihe nwere ike mmadụ gwakwa oge afịa na ya amadị na onye abụ onye Igbo ị na-achụ onye ọbụ onye ebe mana ọ bụrụ na ndị be anyị nwere ike imekwa anya n'afa a na-agụ afọ Igbo ma ọ bụrụ agụsị afọ Igbo agụakwa nke oyibo anụkọta ọgbagwoju anyị ya amasị ma onye Igbo ka ọ bụ onye ọcha maka ụmụ m na-abụ m abụ Katọlik ebe m ha baptizim na Katọlik na Semulube Enugwu ebe a with afọ Igbo and the church did not say no. But the pastor was not however I said that the year was not half a cent. So there only was an antified and 150%. Now my own understanding of what you believe was the war for man. And if you don't know what I'm saying, because no year banana war over the man. Only people want to one of the war over the mapa. So can you find you there by one? Lawyer would defend identity. That's fucking the money is people Igbo.
Yes.
I found again as a about Igbo Igbo, but in as a for Johnson TV. This is one against the money of Igbo. Like a mobile and project, people now working for example now in America. For 4 years, a paper, who came to America. They have a 30 years, only have one name. I saw more job that you both have. Also that but nobody can able to know that Johnson TV Stephanie Joseph. Don't worry, Anna, what I'm because I'm not of your people. It has not showed anything. So what they know that Western education I was when I said can I be back here? Then we could know everything about us. Oh yeah, Johnson. So can I encourage Ghana?
Thank you. Thank you, Honorable. Thank you for calling us. Thank you so much. Appreciate you.
Yes.
Wonderful contribution. Well done. Thank you. He's emphasizing on Igbo names and how names can be your first port of call when it comes to identity.
Yes, he's very right. I remember that late Bishop Eneja for Enugu Diocese published actually names that could be used for baptism, so that you must not answer Anthony or Joseph. So the one he mentioned, Anthony Johnson, and you are an Igbo person, the root is gone. Nobody knows where you come from anymore.
And, unless you're given a second chance to now speak or tell about you.
No, speaking Igbo is not even enough to say that you are Igbo. It is from the name. And he gave example of Asian people, you see, they answer their own name.
Okay. 0700 1055 1055. You too could also come in with your contribution. Today we are looking at the role of folk music in Igbo traditional education and moral development. Father Nnamani had earlier sang for us. He sang a song, you know, on some traditional folklore music with some lessons as well. Hello, good morning. Hello? Hello? Okay, do call us back, if you may, before the end of the show. 0700 1055 1055. 0700 1055 1055. That's the phone number that lets you inside the studio. And we are still with Father Nnamani and exploring the role of folk music in traditional education in Igbo land. For that, when did Akụkọ Ifo and Moonlight Play, did it gradually disappear over time, or we woke up one day and nobody was doing them anymore?
It is urbanization. People left the village, went to the township, it became anonymous. We didn't have moonlight plays again, and radio and television and this tablet you have in the hand came and overshadowed all these things that we used to do in the village.
But one can't begrudge technological advancement.
No, it is for our people to code our customs into it. You can still have it here in this tablet, but who is doing it? I was happy when the person who called from Oka said, Igbo people who have money, to be able to put money into this, into the promotion of this. So revival is what you are doing. You can still do it with this. So what is the content of what, even in this radio, here, what is the content of culture that comes in? That would be maybe 5%. In the television, yeah, because you don't have people who are researching to bring you things that you need to do here. You cannot go to the field yourself, but who is researching and coming here? And if you go to the village, Sydney, and people are talking in the square, the village square, what do you think they use? Proverbs. So let me just give you one before we close. The one where you learn how to do, learn proverbs, because nobody will interpret a proverb for you. Do you have time?
We do have time,
okay.
And we do have a call on the line.
Okay,
hello?
Call.
Hello?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can. Good morning.
Good morning. Good morning, Father.
Good morning.
Okay, I wanted to ask you a question.
Your name first. Let's start with your name, sir.
Ben.
Ben.
Ben calling from Emily.
Okay, Ben. Go ahead, sir.
I want to find out from my father whether Christianity and education contributed to the development of folk music in our traditional system. Because you find out that when you speak this foreign language, you call English, and somebody comes and speaks Igbo, they will say that the man who speaks Igbo is not educated because he may not understand it, he doesn't understand it. So I don't know. It seems the education and Christianity partially have
We lost our connection, but his question is in the bag already.
Yeah, but you see, Sydney, we can't continue to blame people. The white people left here a long time. So what did our priests and bishops and those who are in the church, what did they do to develop the language? Yeah. So this is now in our hands, and if we
are we 40 years late?
Yeah,
to this conversation?
Yes, are we even aware of it? So in which diocese is it being discussed as a priority? So we just throw it and leave it that way. Let's stop. The white people who came did what they did. All of them were not good, but we are the ones that are doing it now.
Okay, so we have another caller. Good morning.
This is Obuele Godwin.
Okay, Godwin.
Yes.
Godwin from Uturu in Abia State. Welcome, good morning.
All right. Talking about Igbo speaking and Igbo culture, because language is a kind of, language and culture is two sides of the same coin. You cannot separate them, because language is the carrier of culture. And it's the way our people relegate Igbo speaking. The baffles me. Because nowadays you see some people like it. I went to register my child to school the other day, and I said that her name is Obuele. They said, are we still answering Obuele? We should have stopped it. It's the answering continue on Friday. So I wonder how our identity will be magnified if we continue answering names like this. We lost our identity already in the hands of this English speaking.
Never mind whoever asked you that question.
So when Kenya embraced civilization, Western education and all that, he changed his name to James Ngugi. So he later realized his mistake and changed it back to Ngugi, the author of Pieces of Blood, Which Not Died. All these, you have read, you have come
Yes, I have read some of his novels. He's a good writer.
So the way we prove that someone that speaks English and all that, me in particular, I got to learn how to write in primary 2 before I even learned how to write. Even up to now, I can write in Igbo, I can even write in Igbo very well. And I instructed my children that you first of all speak Igbo. Our school said that, their school said that we should start speaking English to our children so that they will attend.
No, the children can learn 5 languages at a time. They don't have problem in learning many of them.
Yes, because when they learn Igbo very fast, it will be very easier for them to speak English, to translate that thing they learn
Okay. Thank you, Godwin.
Right up. All right.
Thank you. All right. He was going to cite Chino Achebe. You already mentioned Ngugiwa Thiong'o.
Yeah.
You know, very famous for his 1964 novel, Weep Not Child.
It's not yeah.
And how he had to go back to his roots and pick up his old name, Ngugiwa Thiong'o, instead of James Ngugi.
Yeah.
Interesting story. Father, we do have 5 minutes, you know, into the 11 o'clock hour, because we didn't kick off in good time. So we would love to get your proverb and also talk about the training coming up in October.
Okay, I was going to say that folk music also teaches you how to learn proverbs. And when this is put in music, it is easier to learn and also easier to remember. So this particular folk music is only about proverbs. Kutemiri, je okoyale, je okoyale. Kutemiri manyaka nikonja, obumira boso. Obumira boso.
Sorry, I don't know how to respond.
Obumira boso is the response.
Okay.
Yeah, then it goes to say, Ihu ni ihu dimma dimme tumbo, iya. Obumira boso, iya. Obumira, iha gujemi redi ya nambo, obodo marama, iya. Obumira boso, iya. Onye bụ mmiri ewo, ọ na-agba ọsọ. You see, this folk music is narrating proverbs. Ihu ni ihu dị mma dị metụ, but then you have to go and interpret it. Ihe agụ ji eme ire dị na gịnị?
In his clause.
Number. So it goes on, and if you know this music now, you have learned a lot of proverbs. So it is one aspect of what it does to somebody who is growing up. Because as I said, if you go to the village square and they're talking, they're speaking in proverbs and it's not interpreted. Atụọrụ gị inu, kọwara gị ya, ịma ihe ọ pụtara.
Na ọrụ na-arụkọtara ọrụ na-abụghị n'ọrụ agụgụ.
Yes.
Kama na ejikwa ka ịchọ n'owere nchi. That the program is coming to an end today doesn't mean we've run out of something to tell you. But before we go, the trainings.
Yeah, no, just don't forget to record the folk music you like in your dialect and send it to me, please. Send me the voice note and explain what it means. Next time we are going to play the music.
You have to give the number again.
Yeah, 08036378803.
Take it one more time, Father, please.
08036378803. That is also the number you call if you want to register for our caregiver training, certified nursing aid for those who want to go outside the country to work. Get in touch with me, chat me up, I will send you a flyer, and then you register and come for a training which is taking place from the 23rd of October to 27th.
We appreciate you for coming again, Father. And we wish you all the very best and everybody, all the stakeholders in this very project, especially from the people, Creative Empowerment International. We thank you for this program. And to you all there, always listening.